And being happy is, you know, you mentioned the sex life. That's an important thing as humans. And I have no problem talking about it. I could go down that
biology.
Yeah, I could go down that rabbit hole. If that's not being taken care of for you on your end, on either end of your relationship, or however you're sharing that with somebody, it's going to be a problem. It's going to absolutely be a problem. And it isn't, you know, I don't think a lot of people put that together, that when we exercise, we drive hormonal pathways that support that. And that is a thing. And I can imagine, you know, as you're, you know, in the line of work that you guys are in and the things that you've done, particularly in law enforcement, that that's one of the first things that may start disappearing when that sex drive, when somebody's really having a tough time. They're overstressed, they're overworking and whatever else. And that's going to fuck up your relationship.
Yeah. And so the episode that Jesse was talking about with the firefighter and his wife, they talked about it. It was kind of funny. She was like, I'm going to do it. I'm going to go down the rabbit hole. Yeah. Sex.
It's important shit, man.
Yeah, no, but like it really is important. And exactly what you mentioned, depending on your profession or being in the military, whatever it may be, if you're constantly stressed all the time and then, and you're come home and you're just physically and mentally exhausted, and then you're not communicating with your partner, then it starts to lead into an argument. And I'm sure that's a cause for a lot of arguments. And
resentment. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. And then it's like, oh my God, is my body not okay for you? Are you not attracted to me? That's the common one kind of that I've seen, where it's like, oh my God, like, are you not attracted to me? And it's like, no, I'm just like exhausted. I'm so busy, drained.
I don't know if there's probably a lot of studies out there. I don't know, so I can't quote anything, but I'm going to go out on a limb here, and I'm going to be pretty confident in saying this. I'm sort of an expert in the field of fitness. Healthy, fit people have way more sex than unhealthy, unfit people, right? And because they can, and they're driven to do it more. I don't know, maybe that's a bold statement, but and that's not to say that, you know, being unhealthy or being unfit means you have less sex. You know, maybe that's really untrue. But if you're unhealthy, you're definitely not having as much sex as the healthy person. And if you're unfit, you're just that much closer to being unhealthy. So that's where I feel good making that statement. And if you are unhealthy, your sex life is unhealthy because you're unfit, right? Then your relationships are going to be unfit.
Yeah.
Or what you're bringing to a relationship isn't good. And it ends up becoming a relationship instead of a relationship. And you have to completely look at yourself and go, what am I doing to not make it like this? And I believe fitness and health and taking full responsibility for your health and wellness is your primary responsibility as a human being. And that doesn't mean, you know, you have to be walking around with a six pack all the time, whatever. It doesn't mean that at all. It's
thanks for making me feel better.
Different things, different people. Yeah. This dude.
I do think that it's important, though. I think you touched on this a little bit to let people know that, like, mental health there's gonna be a benefit to working out, but like you said, you can't just submerge yourself in that and then like it's gonna make you feel better. Right. Like I had a buddy of mine that was just like, he's like, oh yeah, I'm depressed and working out's gonna help me. It's like, yeah, dude. So I turned to Dwayne Johnson and then all of a sudden we feel good. I'm like, just try it out. He did it in a healthy manner and he felt better, more confident and happy. But I've also had this with myself and a ton of people that I've worked with, where there's something else going on in your life and you're at the gym for 3 or 4 hours and you do everything your body's capable of doing for 3 or 4 hours. And you're like almost angry at the end of the day because you did everything you could do, but you haven't addressed what's actually going on.
You still don't feel better. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. So like me, like physique wise, the best I've ever looked was probably the most unhappy that I ever was.
No, I get it. Me too. I've been there.
Yeah. So like that's
a good way to look at it.
Yeah. And like a lady that I've worked with for like 3 or 4 years now, she's 60. When I first met her, she was like, hey, I don't need you to sell me on shit. I just want to be able to go hike with my friends or whatever. I just got through a divorce and I'm just trying to like, you know, feel a little bit better and happier. I'm like, okay, cool. I'll get you to do a lot of shit, but let's start there. That's fine. And she's like, no, you don't have to be nice. No, really, you're going to do more than you think you can do. And like 4 years later, she's lost like 35 pounds and she can snatch 100 pounds.
Damn.
Like squat snatch. She's fucking 60. But I will say a couple months ago, she hit me up and she's like, and like everything you've ever done for me, like, and you know, she treats me like a son. Like, she's like, I appreciate all of it. but I can't go to the gym anymore, not at least for like maybe a half year, because I've never addressed how I felt about my husband leaving me. And I just coped with that by doing yoga and gym for 3 or 4 hours a day. And then after about 3 years, she's like, look, dude, I have abs. I snatch 100 pounds at 60 years old. And she's like, it's still there. You know what I mean? And so she's like, I'm still going to remotely contact you. And like, she has her own home gym now, but she's like, I need to go do something about this, like internally, and maybe find myself and stop living at the gym. Cause like, dude, she would like kind of tear up if the gym wasn't open for a few days because of holidays or whatever and things like that. So as much as like, yeah, we're talking about how much fitness does help. I only work out 30 minutes to an hour, 4 days a week. And then I get like 1 day a week where I can just like be by myself and train for a couple, 2-3 hours. But I feel great right now. You know what I mean? Like training like I used to, I didn't feel great.
And that's because your mental state is clear.
Exactly. Right. So like, it's not just, you know, hitting the gym as hard as you can. I've seen that with myself and a ton of other people. You have to look inward. The gym and being healthy is just one piece of the pie. Yeah. Right.
Yeah. I mean, I can echo that sentiment. Probably the nastiest condition I've ever been in. I mean that in like the most lean, shredded, people look at you, go, holy shit, you know, kind of way, was when I was at the worst mental and emotional state I've ever been in my life. Cause it's what I overcompensated. So there's that balance you need to find. Again, it comes with a deep sense of internal awareness, and but the fitness piece, absolutely. Maybe this is another way of looking at it. There's some people that need to exercise more, and there's probably some people out there that need to exercise less. Just like some people probably need to track their calories, right, a little bit more, and probably some people need to calm down on that shit a little bit, you know? And you got to find the right balance for you. There is no one size fits all, but in terms of the total health and wellness component, there's no doubt about it. I don't think anybody at the table is going to argue. Fitness is a huge component. And if more people did that, I believe in the United States of America, we'd be living in a different country right now.